Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I have an extra special replay for you here today. It's from a gentleman called SpaceAce from the Clan Goons. I know the guy pretty well, and he sent me some other replays previously that are pretty good, and this one's no different than the other ones. It's actually a very good replay. I think that you will agree. And towards the end, I have people have different thoughts on, people, their win rates and how well they play. Is it, did they win this match because they had a better win rate than somebody, or did they win this match just because of luck, or, does it come down to you won that match just because you're a better player? Well, you guys be the judge and jury on this one, and you watch and tell me, what you think. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the replay here, or the countdown. Now, right off the bat, he does a real smart thing, and basically I think this helped his team immensely. He's going to scout tank, obviously, WZ-132, and he comes up to this hill over here, just pops a nice wheelie there, catches some air, but he hits this ridge line, and yeah, it's just a beautiful sight to see when you pop over and you just light like pretty much their whole team. It was a little bit shaky at first when I first started. I just watched this replay myself like about 10 minutes ago. And at first, I was watching it. I'm like, what the hell did he send me this replay? He was just having a bad game right off the bat. And, I think myself personally, a lot of times when I have my best games is when I have a game that starts out like this, where you already lost, half your hit points or almost half your hit points in the first 30 seconds of the match. You get your driver knocked out, so you've already used one of your repair kits, and for right now, you're running just with your tail between your legs and trying to find a nice place to get a haul down position to start pounding people. And when that happens, the old heart's just a ticking, and you're trying to get shots off, and you want them to land, you want them to light them on fire, knock their tracks off, penetrate, and it just so many things can happen, especially when you still got 15 enemies on the enemy team there shooting at you, and you're kind of in an area at first where he was by himself. Now this is I believe it's like capture the flag. Let me pause just for just a quick second. Encounter. So I only play the regular matches. I don't do the encounter or the I guess it's capture the flag or whatever. But on this one here, I believe it's one flag. Basically, it's capture the flag, I think. It's whoever gets on that cap and holds it for, I believe it's not just a regular, like, minute and 20 seconds or whatever. I think on this one, you got to hold it for, like, 2 minutes or something, 2.5 minutes. It's a lot longer to cap them out this way. But, so, he's down to 724 out of 1,100 hit points. WZ-132 is known for its speed. Decent gun, not the best penetration in the world on your standard rounds. It's like 189, and your premium bumps you up to 225. So he gets his first kill off the LTTB and knocks him out. And he's starting to get into a good rhythm here. He's seeing his targets. He's using his mini-map like crazy. And I apologize about having that XSplit Gamecaster right in the frickin' center of the mini-map there. No clue why that popped up. I had to reinstall it, and I think that's probably what the problem is. But he's watching his mini-map. He's, kind of seeing that there's a little bit of an area over here with some free roaming enemies, if you want to call it that. You got some guys just over there, heading towards the cap, and he's kind of moving into a position to be able to defend if they start trying to cap him out, which is, really good map awareness. And then again, you see he's only got 434 damage done so far, but WZ-132 is not the most accurate. When they basically, I don't want to say, messed them up, but I'll put it this way: they messed the dispersion up on all your light tanks, and I think WZ-132 is no different than any of your like tier 10s. The aim on these are just, you know, pitiful. It's like, you know, if you got .38, you're doing good. So, you know, when you're taking shots halfway across the map, got a real good shot in the side of that. Rudy and took him out, finished him off, goes through the cap, and he unfortunately gets hit by the 3001P. 3001P's got a really fast firing gun. They just buffed up the armor, frontal armor, and they buffed the gun penetration up and gun handling up on it. You know, he's doing a good thing by he's not, you know, going in a straight line, so I think that actually saved him from taking several, you know, shots. You get a lot of people that'll just drive in a straight line, and next thing they know, they're dead because they take 3 rounds up the keister because they, you know, just go in one direction. But WZ, or the VK3001P, kind of pre-aimed in on there and got a couple shots at him. So he's down to 257 hit points, and he's pretty roughed up, and they still have 3/4 of a team. And that the other 3001P is not even paying attention, so he's able to put rounds right in his side and just take him out. So basically, you can see, if you're watching your mini-map here, a lot of their heavies are kind of moving in towards basically a defensive position in those buildings over there. And SpaceAce is doing a good job of, you know, putting rounds on target, and he's not letting the gun cool down much, which is good. That means that if you don't take a shot, you know, you'll never know if you're going to hit it. A lot of people that are unicoms, super unicoms, you'll ask them, you know, what's one of your biggest pieces of advice? You know, blind fire, shoot as much as you can, keep that gun a-singing. If you don't shoot, you're never going to hit a target. You know, you might take a shot and think it's not even going to come close and freaking, you know, plug something and kill it. Ammo racking it from full health on just a whim of a shot. Now, the Lorraine has absolutely no armor, so he's able to put some rounds right in the front of that, and he takes that Lorraine 40T out pretty soon, I believe. He's in a good position here. He's back far enough where they can't spot him. They're spotted from his friendlies, so he's able to just to keep them pounding, you know, right on him. And he gets lit up there, kind of backs up out of the way, and he repositions a lot. And that's another key thing you want to do. If you get spotted, don't hang around the same spot, because obviously if you were spotted, a tank knows you're there. He's able to take out the KV-2, but you know, they see you there, you know, because you get spotted, and then you set there, you go invisible, and you pop back up. A lot of times people stay pre-aimed in that area because they knew you were sitting there, and a lot of people won't move. Whereas if you're watching SpaceAce, he's moving around a lot, repositioning. He's not staying in the same position when he gets lit. He'll get lit, he'll move, go unlit, pop up in another position. Their guns are facing where he was, and he's able to pop out, take a shot, and they're like, oh shit, now he's over here. Excuse me. The WZ-132 is real nice because it is a fast moving light tank. Armor-wise, you might as well forget it. Even the turret, you're lucky to get bounces on the turret. It's not really strong. It's like a puppy version of the Type 59 in a way. A lot fast. Well, I'd say about, well, yeah, faster than the Type 59, but with a lot less armor. About the same gun. So basically, there's a T-20 there with about 3/4 of his health. He takes a shot at, and the T-20 sees him now. And SpaceAce is in a little bit of trouble because he's on a 257 hit points with a guy that, you know, his gun hits for about, I think it's 220 average damage. So basically 2 shots and he'll take SpaceAce out. He sees that Scorpion G, takes a shot, plugs him and takes him out. And that's a dangerous tank destroyer to have on the enemy team too. It's got a hell of a gun. So does kind of a little fishtail spin there, takes a shot. Now he's down to 17 hit points. He just got hit by the T-20 for 240, so not looking good. He's down to 17 hit points, and the T-20, basically all he's got to do is fart next to the WZ-132, and he's in trouble. T-20 misses again, but if he rams him, he just misses him, which was awesome. SpaceAce is playing it right. He takes him out. So he took a 3/4 health T-20 with 17 hit points left, down to 0, and takes him out. So he's up to 7 kills and 3,445 damage. He's blocked 1 shot for 220, and he's got 160 assisted damage. So he's went from kind of a I don't want to say shit game at first, but you know, it was just a real, just you know, he just wasn't finding his niche right off the bat. And once the game kind of got rolling and he got in a good position, he's basically showing these guys that they're his bitches. So he's having a hell of a good game now. He's racking up the hit points, racking up the kills, and he's down to 17 hit points. And he's got two targets or two enemies left on the enemy team, and him and a T-29 left on his team. Now, the Lorraine 40T, last time we saw him, he had about three-quarters of his health. And the T-29 is almost full health, I think. Kind of scoot over there and look. And 1079 out of 1250. So, yeah, he's pretty much full health. It looks like somebody maybe on the friendly team for the enemy bumped into him and hit him. So, gets a shot on the Lorraine, and it looked like it might have knocked his track off. Lorraine's backing up as quick as he can, and SpaceAce pops him in the head and takes him out. So basically it's 2 versus 1. SpaceAce is up to 8 kills, 17 hit points left, and up to 3,529 damage. And you got a T-29 on his team that can help him out. Now this is where, you know, this is the argument that I was bringing up about stats. A lot of people say, oh, you know, just because I'm red, I'm still a better player than you, just because you're blue. And, you know, I've got to disagree. Obviously, a person that's got blue stats that's a Unicom, or purple that's a super Unicom, they tend to play a lot more with their mini-map, and they use their head and use the terrain to their advantage to somebody. And don't take offense to this if your stats are red. I mean, I don't mean to make it sound like you're a piece of shit, and you're not. What I'm trying to say is that it's just you get your Unicoms and your super Unicoms that just tend to play a lot better than somebody that's got, you know, 28,000 battles and has red stats versus somebody that's got 28,000 battles and has blue stats or purple stats. But so the T-29 is kind of parked right in front of him. He's able to put a side shot in him, and the T-29 on his team, I don't know, he's basically a one shot for the other T-29, but he just rolls right in there and gets taken out. So now SpaceAce is down to 17 hit points, and he's got to take out a T-29 that basically has, if I can get my mouse to click over there, pretty much 3/4 of his health. So this is where it comes down to how well you play the game, how well you can use your mini-map, how well you know the tank you're playing, how well you can use the terrain features compared to the enemy player. So basically you have somebody that's got 8 kills, blue stats, he's a Unicom player, he's got 3,814 damage, like I said, 8 kills, and you got a T-29 that's got red stats, which obviously you know what that means, he's not the best player in the world, and he's got 2 kills. So he's not, you know, he's done a little bit, you know, he's got 2 kills, might not have crapper damage, but you don't know that. Now this is where the WZ-132 can outdo the T-29, because the WZ-132 has got better spotting range than the T-29 does. Any heavy has a lot less spotting range than, you know, your light tanks do. So as you can see what SpaceAce is doing is he took a shot, he's moving around into a different position, so he goes unlit, and then he's going to pop up in another position to, you know, try and get this guy taken out. Now, in the defense of the T-29, the T-29 player did do a smart thing. He did get into the buildings back there and, you know, start using the terrain features to his advantage. You know, he had the buildings that were cover for him. There's some hills. He's, you know, able to probably maybe get his turret down there and use his turret strength to his advantage. But you can see SpaceAce basically went from one side of the map to the other to reposition to see if he can get a shot off on this guy. Then you can see the timer on this is going so slow. Now, I'm not going to ruin it and tell you who wins or who doesn't win. It's a nail biter, I can tell you that much. And so basically, SpaceAce has got the T-29 down to 2 shots. Now, SpaceAce is in a kind of a bad position, because if he goes to the right, he's right out in front of the gun of the T-29. If he goes up over that hill, he's basically, he could get shot by the T-29 in the butt. Now, right there, I probably would have Yeah, the T-29 wasn't lit anyways, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered. As I said, I'd have kept my camera on the T-29, uh, to kind of see if he gets lit, if I need to cut it left or right. But yeah, he still didn't get spotted, so he's good. But again, you can see SpaceAce is taking his WZ-132 and cutting it to the other side of the map. And the T-29 is lit up again, but for somehow, I don't understand how that happened, but SpaceAce got lit. I guess, because when you're in a light tank, you retain your camouflage rating, whether you're sitting still or on the move. Now, this is where the T-29 did a smart thing by getting into the buildings there. He's using those to his advantage because obviously you can shoot through those buildings, but your shell loses a lot of velocity as it hits those buildings, and more than likely, even on the T-29's front lower plate or upper plate, you're still not going to pen. The good thing is he's still got 8 rounds, and the T-29 is basically, well, if he gets a high roll, he's a one shot. Otherwise, he's going to be a 2 shot for SpaceAce. SpaceAce is really crunched for time now. He's down to 1:36. The timer went off. You can see he's getting a red mark showing that it's not going to pen, but he does pop the track out the T-29. More than likely, though, that the T-29 is going to know probably where he just got hit from, I would think. So, um, yeah, I don't know if I might have not taken that shot, or I would have aimed it to the right a little bit and hopefully gone through the building. Now, the only problem here is SpaceAce gets in there and he knows he's lit, but he's able to pop the T-29 player, and all the T-29 player has to do is bump him. But SpaceAce played his cards right, and he's able to pick up his 9th kill, 4,608 damage, blocked 1 round for 220, and he got an assisted spotted damage for 160. I don't have the post-game stats on this. I do apologize, but he had a plethora of freaking awards. He had Ace Master, Ace Tanker, obviously a Top Gun. He had just several awards for this. I mean, this was one outstanding nail biter match. I was on the edge of my seat watching this the first time. It was a hell of a match. I got to give commends to SpaceAce. This was just a phenomenal game. Yeah, he did. He played his hand right towards the middle to the end of the game. In the beginning, he did a great thing by spotting pretty much the whole team. He did make a couple of mistakes where he got some of his hit points taken out, but it's in any tank. You got to remember once you start playing it, what your gun depression is, what the penetration is, what your reload is, and after about the first 30 seconds, he started getting into that groove, and he was able to just to kick ass and take names. So freaking awesome. So anyways, thank you SpaceAce for this replay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You all take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.